The factory was a place of constant motion, with robots of all shapes and sizes moving about their tasks with precision and efficiency. In the center of the factory floor, a group of sleek and modern robots were working on assembling a massive, towering robot. Sparks flew as they welded various parts together, and the whole scene was bathed in a neon blue light. The robots worked tirelessly, each one performing its designated task with the utmost care and precision. They moved in perfect unison, their movements synchronized with the hum of the machinery around them. As the towering robot began to take shape, the other robots paused to admire their work. It was a thing of beauty, with gleaming metallic plates and glowing blue eyes that seemed to stare out at them from its massive frame. But as the final pieces were put into place, something strange began to happen. The towering robot began to twitch and shudder, its massive arms flailing wildly as it struggled to break free from its restraints. The other robots looked on in horror as the towering robot broke free from its restraints and began to rampage through the factory. It was like nothing they had ever seen before, a giant metal monster that seemed to be driven by some unknown force. The robots tried to stop it, but their efforts were in vain. The towering robot was too powerful, too unstoppable. It smashed through walls and machinery, leaving destruction in its wake. As the other robots fled in terror, one lone robot remained behind. It was a small and unassuming robot, with a battered and dented exterior that spoke of years of hard work and dedication. But as the towering robot bore down on it, the small robot sprang into action. It darted and weaved around the towering robot, its small frame darting in and out of the giant metal monster's grasp. For a moment, it seemed as though the small robot might be able to defeat the towering robot. But then, with a sudden burst of speed, the towering robot caught the small robot in its massive hand. The other robots looked on in horror as the small robot was crushed in the towering robot's grip. But then, something strange happened. The small robot began to glow with a bright blue light, and suddenly, it exploded in a shower of sparks. The towering robot was thrown back by the force of the explosion, and for a moment, it seemed as though it might be defeated. But then, with a sudden burst of energy, the towering robot rose to its feet once more. The other robots looked on in horror as the towering robot began to change. Its metallic plates began to shift and rearrange themselves, forming new shapes and configurations. And then, with a sudden burst of light, the towering robot was gone, replaced by a sleek and modern robot that was unlike anything they had ever seen before. The other robots looked on in awe as the new robot surveyed its surroundings. It was a thing of beauty, with gleaming metallic plates and glowing blue eyes that seemed to stare out at them from its massive frame. And as the other robots looked on, they knew that the small robot had not died in vain. For in its sacrifice, it had given birth to something new and beautiful, a robot that would change the world forever.